What's up, everybody? DS the Drunk Heavy again today, and today I want to talk a little bit about how new players may be turned away by Dust 514. Now, first off, I hope everybody watched the Dust keynote yesterday or last night, depending on where you are in the world. This video isn't about the changes, but I will say that UVTs are going to be free after Uprising. There are going to be assault suits for every race. Assault dropships are confirmed, and the user interface and stat screens look amazing, not to mention the graphical update. If you didn't get to see the keynote, there's a link in the description below that will take you to it. It's an hour and some change, so get comfy, but it is well worth it. Be sure to catch the next installment of Boots on the Ground from Gimbal B. I'll be talking with Gimbal and a few other Dust obsessed people about what's in store for the community in the coming weeks, especially with Uprising on its way. A link to his channel will also be in the description below. Now that that's taken care of, we can get down to business. New players in Dust. For gaming companies, especially those who plan to keep the game going strong for years, acquiring new players is not negotiable. To keep the game alive, there has to be a steady flow of new players coming in to negate the inevitable player loss over time. People get tired of playing the same game for a long time. I did it with Call of Duty and Madden. I will probably one day get bored with Dust. It's the fact of gaming life. But there's a difference between acquiring new players and keeping new players for a certain amount of time. New players that I've talked to recently have had little good to say about the game in their first few days, and I felt like I had to defend the game to get them to tough it out in the beginning stages. Is that my responsibility? No, not really. The game should speak for itself. Don't get me wrong, Dust is an awesome game, but you know as well as I do that it takes a solid month to get your skills to a decent level. Not to mention, you also have to get used to the interface of the game, work out, the flow of different game types, get used to the differences in Dust gameplay from other first-person shooters, and learn how to proficiently navigate the menu screens. I know these things are going to be updated in Uprising, but I don't know how much of an improvement they will be. Are these new players really wrong for leaving or thinking this game is too difficult? Not really, in my opinion. The game is so deep, so big, and so populated by solid players that jumping into Dust, like right off the bat, it's like being a high school football player going straight to the NFL. You may have the skills in other simple games like Call of Duty or Battlefield, just like you may be a stud high school football player, but Dust is so different than these games. Dust takes time and dedication and a little bit of obsession to get the most out of it, something a lot of console gamers don't have the time for. I have PlayStation Plus, so I was able to download Dust in August, I believe, to participate in the closed beta. I was getting tired of Call of Duty and looking forward to a new shooter to play, and I was really excited. I followed the game's news from the announcement of the game and past that. I love the whole idea of Dust, but then came the issues. Because I was brand new to the game, I went into games by myself with no idea what the hell was going on. In Call of Duty, you're given a list of stuff to choose from and you go. That's it. Hell, I don't even think I knew how to change my fitting or upgrade skills or anything. I'm pretty sure I played with starter fits those first 3 or 4 games I lasted. Sure, I could have done research and figured out how to play, but to me it wasn't really worth the time. I had no idea about corporations or anything, and I was just a lost puppy. The game was in closed beta and Black Ops 2 was around the corner, so I went back to Call of Duty and I didn't think about Dust again for a few months until I saw Dust being brought into the open beta. By this time I became an obsessive Redditor, so I figured I'd check out the subreddit for the game, and I found subreddit, and they took me under their wing, they taught me about the game, and it was great. But enough history. The point is, it was way too difficult for me as a new player to get into the game on my own. So I gave up. I threw in the towel. I didn't care because there were more, simple games out there that I could jump in, play, and have fun. I know I'm not the only person that has ever just given up on Dust right off the bat. I've had friends from Call of Duty love the game, but most of them hate it. It's so intimidatingly deep that new players just give up. I don't think the game needs to be simplified though. I just think there needs to be a way to, have a introduction or an introduction area of the game somewhere to, help these new players out. Yes, there are the pop-ups, but people don't really pay attention to those. It's their fault, yeah, but gamers generally have a pretty short attention span and get annoyed by things constantly popping up all over the screens. The problem isn't as much the interface as it is getting obliterated every game because your opponents are using Visiums with 4 damage mods sitting on top of a building hiding somewhere. items, you know, you probably don't even know exist. If Dust wants to continue to grow, CCP needs to figure out a way to make the game more noob friendly. I'm not saying change the gameplay. I'm not saying nerf this or buff that. I'm saying there should be something created to spark the minds of these new players, whether it be ISK capped public matches or SP capped public matches or time capped public matches, just or something completely different. Just put them on a level playing field with other, you know, newer, less skilled players. By less skilled, I mean less SP skilled. Give them a chance to learn the game. No one has fun getting smashed every game by players with insanely superior equipment to your own. Until then, when you see or hear new players coming to the game, help them out. Show them around the menu screen and explain the importance of their core skills and, you know, gaining ISK. Get them started off on the right foot. If it wasn't for subreddit, I'd still be playing Call of Duty and throwing my controller in the street. For those who don't know, Dust University is the premier Dust training corporation. Refer these guys to Dust University if they're interested in learning about the game. Dust University has a pretty solid turnaround for new players going from there to other more serious corporations. They're doing great things there, and it is very much appreciated by me and a lot of other, you know, consistent Dust players. If you think the game is fine the way it is, you know, we don't need anybody to hold our hands. You know, we're already good at the game. Well, don't complain next time you get in a game and you have 8 blueberries on your team with the starter corporations and they get less than 3 kills a game. You know, getting new players acquainted with the game will help have more balanced teams, closer fights, and overall more fun games. Sure, you'll probably die more. Yeah, it makes sense. You know, there's going to be better players. But I'd rather have a game come down to the wire and be 15-5 than a 70 clone slaughterfest and go 6-0. In the end, the game will be better with better players. It's as simple as that. There are about to be a ton of new players with the release of Uprising. And not only new players, but players coming back to the game that have taken a break. Take advantage of this situation. Take somebody under your wing, teach them the way that you play, and hell, you might end up with a badass sidekick that you wouldn't have had if you didn't give them the chance. If you're a new player and would like to get a little help, drop a comment down below and I'll see what I can do to help you out. You guys are what's going to keep the game alive. So, yeah, those are my thoughts about new players in the game. If you have any, you know, questions or requests or anything, just let me know. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that bullshit. I'll see y'all later.
KKG.